Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm still playing Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom. And honestly, the more I play that, the less I'm convinced this is a good game. I'm gonna finish this mission, hope I can do that in this video, and then I'm gonna stop the campaign. For me, it's just not worth it to play it to the end. But anyway, let's bring this to the end. So we're sitting here at Witch Hill. Basically, I want to rest at that point. Jack Slasher and especially the Corpse Burner have a bunch of experience points they want to use to improve their abilities a little. And we also took some hits, especially again the Bloodsport Brawler. And by the way, a viewer reminded me that I forgot the Animal Lover on a pretty regular basis here. If you kill a filth, you got to do a morale test, otherwise you become demoralized. And yeah, that's true. I think I only did it once. I don't think it would have changed a lot, to be honest. But just want to mention it. I placed the card now here, so maybe I can remember it better. Okay, I'm going to do the rest off camera. Okay, so this guy, all the guys managed to heal nearly completely. He has one wound left, but the others are at 0 wounds. This guy got the immunity, which works well with the gourmet thing, so he's immune to poison, and he mastered that earlier on. He had to do a test here. That was he's got to do a test. Now he is completely immune. And this guy also mastered his lurker ability, so basically it's not the decision if he wants to go first or last. Now he can also go somewhere in between. That gives him a little more flexibility. Okay. So, we're going to draw a card. Bandit Camp. Dangerous degenerates, driven to desperate deeds, swear blood oaths to their brigand brothers in the smoke-filled tents of the bandit camp. Yes, and we got a 2, so that means we got to fight again here. The bandit camp is up here, so that goes up to a 5. Oh boy. And we gotta fight. First we will get an encounter. And then we gotta draw 3 monsters. We're nearly through the deck. Then we got to shuffle these stronger monsters into the deck, which might be a little more interesting then. A Feral Scratcher. He goes to the guy with the highest magic, which is him, it seems. The Vermis Guard, highest constitution. We got that over here. And the Grave Robber, that's the skirmish guy, we already met him earlier on, to the guy with the lowest morale, which is probably him again. So I want to try to kill him so that he doesn't drive this thing up even more. So apart from that, there's nothing special. Horde, Dimwit, Onslaught. That has a stronger starting attack, but he's also easy to kill. Oh, and by the way, this stuff all goes away here. Okay. So I'm gonna try to kill the Grave Robber with the Executioner's Axe. Well, actually, I wonder, I might also use the Barbed Whip. In this way, I could stop him. But I can still do this later on. I mean, I could also kill the Ferrous. I think that's what I want to do. I want to kill the... Nah. The Ferrous Scratcher might be a little more dangerous because of his dim-wit thing. We don't know how he's doing. So I'm going to attack him with my Executioner's Axe. And I fucked up, so no damage here. A 10 is far too much. Now I want to use the Barbed Whip to stop the Grave Robber. And if I'm successful here, he loses his skirmish ability, I think, until his next turn. But first I got to do an agility test. So that's an 8 that I have to roll, and I did that. So yeah, he cannot do the skirmish thing. And now we got to do... Yeah, I got to do the attack here. But I'm going to do that obviously in a defensive stance. And that wasn't great at all. I managed to kill the Grave Robber, which is cool. But I missed my defense roll quite a bit, and I only ended up with a 2. So that means I can use this only to defend against one monster. This is going to be a little painful. Let's do the Dimwit roll of the other guy. That's luckily only a 1. I think the Onslaught gives him a +2. I'm not absolutely sure about that. No, +1. If I'm in guard. Yeah, anyway. So that's it's actually 2 that damage he does. I can cancel these 2, but I'm gonna take the 3 from this guy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then it's him against the Vermis Guard. And yeah, let's see what we can do. At least this is a 4, so I don't take any damage. I do 4 damage, which is not quite enough because this guy has an armor of 1, so that means I do only 3 damage. Okay, but now the other guy can try to kill the Feral Scratcher now. With the axe again, and this time it was clearly better, and this guy is killed. Now he can go in attack mode and try to kill the Vermis Guard. And there we go. Okay, awesome. So, 2 experience for him, 1 for him. Let's see what the loot rules say. First one is a miss, the second one too. So we killed a filth. That means this time he's pretty depressed, maybe. We gotta check a morale, which is 8. And we did that, so he's fine with killing this guy. Which definitely motivates the slasher to eat them. And so let's see, we need a constitution check here. Well, actually we don't need that because, well, yes, I'm immune to poison, but still I think I gotta do a constitution to see if I will. I missed that, so I cannot heal any wounds, but I'm also not poisoned. Okay, moving on to the Watchtower. Doing a force march, which means constitution check here. Bloodsport guy. Yeah, he did it. Slasher needs a 7. Did it. And the Corpse Burner a... Nah, he didn't. So it kind of sucks. We end up with a fatigued condition. There we go. And now we're sitting here, and let's see what happens. Oh man. Brüttelburg. Filthy vermin and worse infest the back streets and sewers of the cult-ridden, decaying fortress city of Brüttelburg. So, this goes down to 3. This is not a law space, so therefore the law will not attack. But anyway, we got to draw 3 monsters. That means now we're through the deck. Black Wizard goes to the guy with the highest magic, which is him. And we got to shuffle this. And now we got these stronger monsters here with an experience of 3. And they might show up now. But this is their last opportunity, then we're leaving the lowlands. I forgot about the encounter last round. Once again, a walking ghost child, an ethereal floating child, haunts your steps. Its mournful weeping and moaning echoes across the countryside. The adventurer in this space with the lowest luck must take this card and becomes a curse weakness. Well, we all have only 0 luck. While you have this card, your hunting and stealth tests fail if you roll doubles. An adventurer in your space with ghost water goes through a puzzle prison may attempt to exorcise the ghost by using the following rest. Or you can also do a magic or morale test. If you pass, discard this card. If you fail, lose 1 luck. Well, we're all at 0 luck. I'm going to simply give this to him. I'm usually not hunting or trying to sneak. This is something you can do to try to basically to try to manipulate these numbers. So if you hunt, you can make this number 1 level higher. If you sneak, you can make it 1 level lower. I mean, you cannot exactly change the number, but if you compare it to this, you can do it. You know, I mean, if you draw, let's say we draw a 5 here. Here, for example, I could then sneak, and then I could try, if I'm successful sneaking, I could avoid the encounter with the monster then, because then this counts basically as a 4. So in this specific, but it's only, I can only change it basically by 1 number. And I can only sneak if I'm in cautious mode, and I can only hunt if I'm in bold mode. Okay, so the Black Wizard here, he has that rally, so basically he's going to draw a 2nd monster that comes right with him. And command and summon. This guy is a little ugly. The monsters with him, I think they will have the... Oh boy, he's dangerous. They will have an additional fight, and if he also summons monsters. Oh, that guy is a dickhead. But we can use our barbed whip in this way. No, we cannot stop the summon ability. Shit. Okay, so let's draw a 2nd one. Oh, and there is our bad guy, the Pain Knight. Maybe this time it's getting a little more interesting. So, he's got armor 3 and health 6. He goes for the guy with the lowest morale, which is also him. Then we got a corpse golem again. Lowest magic, that is him. And finally, this thing here comes with a curse, also the lowest magic, so these 2 go for him. So let's see what the curse does. The monster's targeted. If you fail, okay, magic test. If you fail, lose 1 luck and you become demoralized. Magic, we have 5. Okay, so once again, cursed. he already lost all his luck. And he is demoralized. Awesome. Yep. And then we have, well, we already did the rally. Okay, so we want to kill the black wizard. This guy is really ugly. And let's see what the pain does. When you receive one or more wounds from this monster, you must make a constitution test. If you fail, you become stunned. Oh gosh, this is getting more and more complicated. We'll see what happens if we take the wounds. So this guy is going to try to kill the wizard first with the axe. This is a pretty dangerous guy. And that's not bad. 5 damage, that's enough. Very good. There goes the wizard. Awesome. He goes into a defensive mode, and pretty sure we're going to take some damage now because of this. He has a good attack of 6. And oh boy, that was bad. So he takes 5 damage, which is pretty painful. Okay, so let's see what that does. And by the way, we do no harm to this guy, because we would do 3, but he has an armor of 3. It's time for the axe. So the problem is that this guy fucked up the constitution test, which made him stunned, and now he's really vulnerable. First we got to do this now. I wonder if I can do the misdirection. As a quick action, I can choose a target monster, and I think I might try to I might try to bring this monster somewhere else, because this guy is already heavily wounded. So let's see if we can do that. We gotta do, what was it? A agility or magic. So 8 is what we need, and we don't have it. Fantastic. Great, great, great. So let's see. We're gonna fight, and I think I want to attack this guy here. And that was a success, and the defense also was a success, so I don't take any wounds. I managed to kill that thing here. It says evade. Let's see what that means. When you attack this monster with a melee attack, if the attack result rolls in doubles, well, that's not the case. So we were fine. Okay, so now we got to somehow try to kill this guy, and that's gonna be really hard. But we'll see. I mean, we have our axe, which is pretty awesome, I think. Oh boy, was that bad. Okay. I have no luck, so yeah, that's a shame. So then he has to try to somehow survive, and maybe he's a little more lucky, and this looks good actually. He rolls a 5, so this time he only takes, well, actually he was not allowed to roll this one, so he rolls, he only takes, now we can remove that. Actually, yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's see. He takes 1 wound. Okay. Now he's got to do, because it's again the pain, he's got to do again a... Okay, the stun thing would stay until the end of the fight round. The fight round is not over yet. That means he does not have to roll now, because he cannot get a second stunt. So he cannot, yeah. He can remove these for now, and in the next turn he might then be stunned again. But you cannot end up with 2 stuns at the same time. Okay, and then it's again this guy here. Oh fuck, again I forgot if I did any damage here. Nope. Okay. Bloodsport Brawler against this stupid golem. No damage taken, 3 damage done. Okay. And we would need now a solid roll with the Executioner's Axe. I would really appreciate that. And that one looks pretty good, actually. That's a 7. Yeah, that's a hit. We have a 6 here. So that means this time we do 3 damage. That's something. And then we can try to defend ourselves against this knight. And now we have again a power die. Fuck, man, I'm so poor. But at least that is a 4. So I take only 2 wounds, and it's getting actually critical here. I gotta admit that. However, I do also 2 wounds to this guy. That's worth something. If I'm lucky, we can finish him off. And then I gotta check my constitution to see if I take pain damage here, and this time I made it, so I'm gonna have a power die in the next round. And yeah, the guy here still fighting the corpse golem. And no damage taken, 3 damage done. So he's doing pretty well. And so it goes on, and this time we only have to do 1 more damage. So that means we need a 4 to kill this guy. And that would be kind of important. This is actually the first time that I gotta be afraid that I might take serious hits because of this pain knight. And I fucked up again, totally. I mean, he is really in a bad shape. I think he did now 3 times these horrible rolls. So no damage, and now it's up to him. And if he rolls now badly, he will die. So let's see what we can do here. And that was a bad roll. Oh boy, yeah, it was. But it's good enough to... No, it's not. He is actually dead. I think so. I'm not sure. But I think he died here. Maybe one more wound, but I'm pretty sure he died. So after about, I don't know, seriously, maybe 20 hours of gaming, it's the first time we come into this position here. And let's see what happens. Okay, this guy loses half his experience points, which is 1. He loses all his trophies, which is none. Okay, you cannot participate in a fight, use actions, or be targeted. If you are defeated, you must rest during the next action phase. Okay. We could have fled, by the way. We could have tried to flee, but now it's too late, obviously, for that. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. So I think now... Well, first we got to roll for the other guy. He still has to fight that stupid golem. Oh boy. Oh man. So we take 2 damage. And we don't do any damage. Now this guy here goes to the guy with the lowest morale. I give it to him. And now he can start. And maybe if this time he manages to get this axe working, he can kill him off. Yay, great. There he goes. The Pain Knight is finally killed. Yeah, he was pretty annoying. I was quite unlucky with him, but still, that was first time I felt some danger showing up here. And now it's the other guy. Oh man, and again I take, oh boy, I take 2 more wounds. And I don't do any damage. So now it seems the axe has also to do a job against the goblin. And that was a success. So the goblin is killed. We did 4 wounds. That was pretty rough. Okay. By the way, if everyone is killed, then I think you basically are simply defeated. I'm not even sure if that is the case. Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, then the game is lost. Okay, however, we are still victorious. That means this here is reduced by 1. And this poor sucker has to rest now. And yeah, we might even considering resting twice, because that was... No, actually that isn't true. This one is reduced by 1. This one here stays at a 5, and the other one goes down to a 2. It's kind of fun. This guy was basically just watching the other people fighting, swinging the axe from time to time. That gave him 7 experience points and $6. He's allowed to draw a loot card. He doesn't have to roll. A dart pistol. Wow, that's worth a lot of money actually. If you would inflict wounds on a monster with this attack, apply the effects of the attached ammo card instead. Okay, great. Sadly, we don't have any... What? Okay, so we don't have any ammo. That's a shame. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'm allowed to use it technically with an agility of 7. But yeah, no armor. So this thing is pretty pointless. And he gets 1 experience, gets to roll, and he missed that loot roll. Okay. So I'm gonna rest off camera here. So the corpse burner got the looter ability. When you make a loot roll, roll 2 dice and use either result. Okay. Okay, so I did another rest. I ended up with another I gotta draw another 3 monsters, and this is getting so tiresome. Feral Scratcher goes to the guy with the highest magic, which is him. This guy also goes to the guy with the highest magic, and the Night Witch to the guy with the lowest morale. So all of these suckers have to fight him. Let's see what we can do. We can do the Ferocious Charge. That means I can roll 3 power dice now with my Executioner's Axe. And first we gotta roll for the Night Witch. Oh man. A curse. Monster's target must make a magic test. That's a 5. That is good. So no consequences here. The guy is actually at 6. He wasn't doing terribly well. He did a first healing thing with success. The second one he wasn't successful. And so that is actually our second recovery round now, our second rest round. And Rally the Demonic Servant. So we got to draw another one. To the guy with the highest agility, that is him. The Mega Rat. Okay. So let's see what we can do. I want to kill one of these suckers, that's for sure. Probably the one with the highest attack value. The Night Witch, I think. It's going to be hard to kill. But maybe I'll roll a 6. I got to be a little lucky here. And I am indeed. So there we go. The Night Witch goes away, and I have here a 5. So that is good enough. Then, again in a defensive stance, this guy fights the Demonic Servant, I guess. Defense was successful, so no damage for him. The attack, though... Yeah, the attack was also good. So he killed him. Very good. And then the Mega Rat against the Bloodsport Brawler here. We fucked up the defense and only have 1 man. And we also fucked up our attack roll. Yeah. So that means we take 4 wounds, which is painful. No doubt about that. And we are infected. Oh man, what does that mean? You receive 1 or more wounds, you become infected. Great, great, great. Oh yeah, no wound recovery next time. And this should go away. So let's kill the Feral Scratcher here. With our, with the axe. And we didn't make it. Oh boy. The Mega Rat again. No, wait. Let's do this guy first here. Also against the Feral Scratcher. Defense was fine. The attack was a success. So that means this guy is killed too. And then eventually this guy has to fight again against the Mega Rat. And he fucked up, but he's got a 5 here, so no damage. And 1 damage against the Mega Rat. Maybe we will be able to finish it off with the axe again. And we are. There goes the Mega Rat. Okay, awesome. Guys, I'm gonna end this. This is getting ridiculously stupid. I really hate it. Sorry to say, this is a terrible game. I cannot go on with this. I'm feeling... I don't know, this is a total waste of time for me. I'm feeling like some kind of lab rat just rolling dice like stupid, trying to somehow keep all the stuff on my mind which is going on here. Okay, so let's see. What is it about this game? First of all, I find it very interesting. This game has a very high rating, really high rating, above 8, and it has many reviewers that I have a high opinion of also did a very positive review about that. I have absolutely no idea why. Maybe it's because of the artwork, and you can feel the love that someone really invested in this game. There is no doubt about that. You have so many so many details in this world, so many background story, and yeah, it feels really like it is kind of a real world you're traveling through, and with all these books that you can buy in addition to that. And so I really respect these guys for what they did here. This is a great, I think you could do a great role-playing game with that. And I also have a lot of respect for the artist. This is just beautiful stuff here. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt. This is probably the most interesting and definitely one of the most beautiful games that I've ever played. Sadly, this is also one of the most boring and dull games that I've ever played. And it goes on for quite a while. That makes it even harder. You know, I've played some boring, not boring, but dull games. For example, over here, Chainsaw Warrior, which is definitely also not a fantastic, clever game. But it is over after 15 minutes or so, and you've experienced a interesting story, because, you know, with every card you flip, you could be killed. Here, it took me about 20 hours before my first guy got into trouble. I mean, I played another game before, okay, so of course this playthrough went just on for, I don't know, 4 hours or something, but I played a full campaign before, and it felt all totally pointless. There was absolutely nothing going on. Okay, now this guy came into trouble. Still the others were in a very good condition. They could help him. And, you know, until really the whole party is killed. I don't know, man. I think that really takes a while. You might somehow have to arrange that or something. It's really hard to imagine. If you take your time to rest as soon as you accumulated some wounds, I find it hard to imagine that you could die. Seriously. You might say, okay, there might be trouble then with this Doom track and the Hand of Doom or so. Okay, maybe in the campaign game at some point. But for now, I don't really see that. We have 1 6 down here. Apart from that, everywhere a maximum of a 5. And we're going to travel these areas. So that means if we're going to fight there, we're going to bring this down again. At least these areas up here. I don't know. Okay, I think that the problem... I'm still not sure if I actually played that right. That's another thing, you know. I've heard Callendale complaining that this is a super hard game, that is easy to die and so on. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I just didn't get it. But I don't think so. I think I pretty much played it right. And it's a pretty heavy game, actually. You have about, I don't know, something like 34 pages of rules in this game. And what do you get back? basically during a turn you can decide if you want to travel or if you want to rest. If you travel, and after that you draw a card and you either have to fight or you don't. The encounters are pretty clear, and most of the actions you can actually do are more or less pointless. If you rest, you can explore a place. Yeah, okay, great. That is awesome, but I don't really see... I mean, okay, you can then force march or something, but it is also done in a way you roll a die and you do a perception test. If it works, you can place this marker there. If it doesn't work, well, then it doesn't. Great. I mean, that doesn't sound terribly interesting to me. For an explore action, at least, it sounds like there should be something interesting going on. But no, it's basically just about placing the marker or not. And if you do it, I don't really have a feeling that that has a massive impact on the game. Other things, for example, the trade option. You can trade only in the cities. That's also not too interesting, because you can only draw as many cards, as many loot cards, as the city level. So basically now in these areas you can only draw one card, okay? And you can buy that card or not. Here you could draw two, here three, okay, fine, down there also two. But that is, this is not, I don't know, man, there is not a lot of decision making. Okay, which item do I want to buy? Wow, cool. Maybe if I save money, I can get this item at some point, like in Runebound, for example, where you see interesting items on the different markets in the different cities, and you can make a choice here. And okay, I want to go in this city, but I need 4 more gold to get this awesome item. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. You just draw a card, and if you're lucky, you get an item. Awesome. And that's the thing, the items. Oh gosh, the items are horrific. They are so pointless. I mean, what the fuck, man? This is here the war paint, for example. Okay, you can use that in specific situations. If you rest, discard this card to become blessed and exalted. Great. That gives you gotta check all this shit here with all these stupid... That gives you +1 morale. Yeah, fantastic. That is awesome. And exalted, I don't know what that does. Maybe +1 something else. But it goes away in the next recovery phase anyway. If this would be forever, it would be cool. Even if the penalties would be forever, that would be probably more interesting. But it's only just for one phase. And most of these weapons only work if you do this kind of assault mode, which is usually not a good idea, because as long as you are targeted by a creature, you definitely have to be in guard mode. Then you are pretty safe, and the combats are super easy usually. I mean, you've seen that. Apart from the last combat, or the last but one combat that I did, you are completely dominating these combats. There is no point in investing any attention in all this shitty thing that goes on, so that you can somehow, if you make a special test against a special monster, you get +1 perception or some crap like this. This is so... There are sometimes things, this is so horrible stupid. For example, that one. Choose a target demon or undead with experience value 2 or less. Make a magical or moral test. If you pass, the target becomes hexed. Yeah, great. I mean, this is so super specific, and I don't know what hex does, because I don't even care about that, to be honest. Because in the end, I'm gonna kill the guy without doing that anyway. Let's see what Hexed does. Yeah, we gotta find this thing. No abilities. Okay, that can be helpful, but I don't know, man. I really don't. Even with the abilities, it's nearly impossible to lose a battle in this game. I think one of the really important game aspects of dungeon crawls and also of these adventure games when you travel the areas and you kill monsters, right, is it has to be rewarding. You draw a loot card and you think, great, what is it? And then you draw a card and it says, yeah, it's a dart pistol. And you cannot use it. Oh, great. You cannot use it because you don't have the fucking ammo for that. Well, that's awesome. You know? Or it's a death mask. Oh, fantastic. You are immune to fear and necro from the undead. Fantastic. That is something I find really necessary. You know, I mean, this is the hand puppet. It's funny, yeah, but when you make a test for confusion or misdirection, roll an additional die and use any 2. When you earn 2 or less gold points by passing a magical test for performance, you gain 1 additional die. They really make an item for this shit? Oh man, come on. This is not what I want to find after fighting some cool monsters. I don't want to end up with these super specific items that I can maybe use once per game. I used this thing once per game doing this misdirection thing, and I think I actually forgot about it. Yeah, I forgot about it the second time I did the misdirection thing. And that's another point, you know, you got all this crap lying around here, tons of special abilities, all kind of specific cases, and then at some point, if you could maybe use it, you'll probably forget it anyway. I mean, okay, this is my fault, but maybe not. Hey, maybe it's also design's fault. I mean, if you come up with all that stuff, I don't know. The same with the abilities for the guys. You know, I want a cool character development. This is awesome. I want to get powerful characters. You know, get these kind of experience points, and then I spend them, and I want to have really powerful guys. But these suckers, I mean, they are a bunch of losers, no matter what they get. And you could say, yeah, that's part of the fun, that's part of the theme or so. But you know, all these abilities, I mean, some of them are useful a little bit from time to time, but again, they're super special. Most of the combat abilities ask you to use this kind of sword stance, and many of them are so specific. This thing here, you know, if you would become poisoned, first roll d6. If your roll is equal to or greater than your wounds, you are not poisoned. Okay, awesome. What does poison do? I think you have a -1. Yeah, you got a -1 constitution. Okay, so, I mean, this goes away in your next recovery phase. So basically, I get this thing to prevent something that only goes on for a very short amount of time. Come on. This is such a mess. It really is. The fights are far too easy. And they go far too long for what they offer. You know, you have to roll sometimes 10 times, 15 times to kill all these hordes of monsters. And that's, by the way, another problem. I don't like it if I'm attacked somewhere in the wild continuously by 4 or 5 completely different monsters. That doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, do these always hang around together? Or, it's not like, okay, we have, a carrion crab and a harpy. I mean, what? They attacked me on the same time? I mean, was there some kind of bond between them, or did they kind of came up with some plan to attack me at the same time? I find that not very thematic, to be honest. It kind of makes sense if you meet a few fish or ducks, for example, that hang out somewhere. But always this strange mixture of monsters that don't seem terribly, I don't know, they're related somehow. They just show up there. They're just sitting there, and you have to fight them. Okay, and then you got to roll 15 times, and then they're all dead. Great. And then you get 2 experience points for that, to come up with some shit. I mean, boy, this is so painful to play, and it's the monsters. Okay, I can see they become now a little stronger. I can see that the Pain Knight was kind of a pain, but I think I was also pretty unlucky there, and it takes, I don't know, it's not like, for example, in a game like Runebound, which is, in my opinion, not a very clever game, but it does many things right. It is also a game where you're just fighting, more or less, and you're just rolling dice, but it does so many things right. Basically, the strength of your hero and the strength of the monsters are very cleverly balanced, because you can choose what strength of monster you want to attack. So you want to go for the monsters that you can kill, but they're not too easy because you want to get experience, but they're not too strong either. So it's kind of, there's always this little balance there. And then the rewards you get, they are paid out in money, which is a very good idea, because then you can go into a city and you can buy weapons or armor or whatever, and it kind of also is balanced out with the strength of your monsters that you killed, because you will get more money the stronger the monster is. So it is not some random card, which could be super powerful if you kill a weak monster, but if you kill a weak monster, you get $1 or so, and you can only buy a very weak item for $1. And if you kill a strong monster, you might get $6, and if you kill 2 strong monsters, you can buy a strong weapon, something like that. That makes a lot of sense to me. And as I said, you see to some point at least where you can get what types of weapons, and then some random weapons will show up in addition to these. So you can always plan ahead a little bit. I want that weapon, and I gotta kill that monster, and then I can get this thing, and that makes a lot of sense. And my heroes will become stronger, and the monsters will become stronger, and I feel like I am developing in a way. Like there is really something going on, I don't know, man, there is some reward to all the play. The battles there, they are clearly shorter than here. There's usually a little more risk involved than here, or definitely more risk. There's a good chance to die in this game, or to be KO'd at least. And you really have to think about the right way how to find the weakness of the monster in comparison to your weapons, to your strength, and how to defend against the strength of the monster. And you got to do that, and it's not a big deal like in Mage Knight or something where you have to focus on a combat for quite a while until you find a way somehow to resolve it. But takes you maybe 30 seconds, and you got to make some interesting decisions, and then you roll the dice, and after 2 minutes the battle is over. Maybe even after a minute. But, you did that, you made an interesting decision, and it mattered, and you need your items, and you got to use them in a clever way, and then you can beat the monster. Or maybe not. Here, it doesn't matter, basically. You have all these items which are more or less not interesting at all. I don't get a big advantage, for example. I don't get any advantage, I think, if I have a second weapon. I can hold one weapon or two, but I don't get a big advantage. Maybe some very special stuff is going on somewhere for some specific case. But it all feels totally pointless. You just stack up items that are all pretty weak, and you kill the monsters. That's all you do. And it goes on forever. You roll dice, more and more and more. And at some point, you're done. You travel to the next point, or draw a card, and you do your next fight. This is all done by this is all, let's say, you're guided here by a pretty fun campaign. But in the end, if you think about it, in the end, the campaign basically also limits you a little bit in your decision, because it clearly tells you where to go. It's not like you don't go to a specific point or area, because it is it's something that is kind of recommended by, or because you decide to go there because it will help you to win the game or something, but you go there because the campaign tells you to do so. So, okay, you got your choice between, I don't know, 2 or 3 areas where you can go, for example, or locations where you can go. But if you don't read the outcome of this in front, which I usually don't want because I don't want to spoil this, the decision is not really a strategic decision or something. It's more or less luck, because you don't know the result, and you cannot guess it. So you just have to go there, and because the campaign tells you so, and then you can enjoy the story, which is kind of fun. But okay, I mean, in the end, the gameplay is terribly boring, and I can simply read through the campaign, and that would be fine for me. These encounters, they add a little bit of flavor to the game, there is no doubt. I wish there would be something like this, for example, in Runebound, or maybe in Talisman. You have something like this sometimes in Talisman. Actually, you do have it in Talisman. But I would love to see something like this in Runebound. These encounters are definitely missing in Runebound, because in Runebound it's more or less, with a very few exceptions, it's only about the fighting. However, the impact of these is minimal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Void Ceremony was kind of interesting. There could have been a big monster if I messed this up. But in the end, all these encounters basically had no impact to the game. Not at all. So, yeah, in the end I can only say, although some people might be now pretty angry with me and say, oh, this is such a cool game, and it looks so great, and you have all this theme going on there. Yeah, I agree, and I really would like to like it. I spent a lot of money on that game. I really did. I basically purchased everything out there because I was so overwhelmed by the art, and I thought, hey, these must be clever guys who did that, and they probably are. So the game is probably also a good and clever game. It looks so innovative and so it looks so alive, you know, this whole board and the whole world feels so alive and so rich. But the gameplay is such a boring experience. It is horrible. So yeah, I'm afraid that's all I can say. Maybe if I find the time, I don't know, but I think I won't, because I'm probably gonna sell this. But if I could find the motivation to explore this game any longer, you know, maybe if you play the whole campaign, at the end of the campaign, when the Doom tokens show up, maybe then, after, I don't know, 6 hours of play or something, this becomes more interesting. Possibly. But at that point, I'm so annoyed and I'm so pissed that I really probably will not get there. Sorry guys, but... or maybe I just played it wrong. That's also true, and if that's the case, I absolutely apologize, and I'm absolutely willing to give it another try then. Okay, anyway, hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.